Morgan, your friendly neighborhood moderator, back, this time to talk about facilities. We are knocking on the door of Plymouth's 170th year and the 154th year of the opening of this glorious sanctuary. This legacy of passionate services and beautiful facilities is both a gift and a tremendous responsibility. Each generation maintains and nourishes these gifts to pass them along and continue the message of a loving and giving Christ. This building is lovely, but most importantly, it is the living and breathing part of our mission in this community and beyond, from Head Start to the various nonprofits that utilize its spaces to provide comfort and healing, to our own groups learning more about our faith. This building is filled with people searching. For more than 4 years, various boards and task force have been meeting and studying the needs of our building. A comprehensive facilities master plan was presented to the congregation in August of 2022. Council has continued refining this plan and breaking it into phases. You have noticed phase 1 is hard at work, finally, today. We're excited. Yay, phase 1. Being paid out of our operating budget. Phase 2 is focused on the sanctuary, its accessibility, its heating and cooling, and most importantly, the long overdue renewal of our beloved, if at times cranky, organ. It should be noted that the organ committee has existed for at least 12 years, working to find the best option and how to pay for it. Things take time at Plymouth. We are working on it. While options for the organ are still being considered, the amount recommended for estimating purposes by the organ committee is $2 million. Additionally, lowering the choir loft, making this chancel area up here more accessible to all, and updating the heating and cooling is currently estimated at $2.4 million. This adds up to an estimate with padding, it is a generous estimate, for the full project of $4.4 million. How can we raise that amount? First, the historic nature of our building allows Plymouth to benefit from tax credits that can be sold. These can be sold to generate additional revenue that could cover almost 30% of our project. The rest would need to come from a capital campaign. A consultant was brought in earlier this year to conduct a feasibility study for such a capital campaign. Sessions were held with Plymouth members this fall. The consultant believes that Plymouth could raise with 3-year pledges 2 to 3 times our annual budget. This translates into $2 to $3 million. Council has been discussing this report for the past few months and how to move forward with Plymouth's first capital campaign in 20 years. It was decided to have me as moderator oversee an informal preliminary review of possible lead contributors and if a favorable response was received, to consider calling a congregational meeting to have the congregation make the final decision about a capital campaign. There is much information yet to be gathered, but the initial response is, I believe, favorable enough to warrant asking the congregation to decide. Accordingly, I am, as moderator, calling a congregational meeting to be held Thursday, January 11th, here at Plymouth at 5:30 p.m. I have chosen a midweek time to avoid interfering with either service and to allow enough time for presenting information, taking questions, and allowing members to discuss the question among themselves before voting. There is a choir practice that evening at 7 o'clock, but we believe an hour and a half is sufficient time for our called meeting. Some of us will be available today in the Heritage Room to answer questions about process. There's also a page on our website that has really good information under the About link at the top of your main page. There's facilities planning. You go down to that, it's got quite a bit of the information that we have been putting together. This includes an 11-minute video by our own Valerie of the presentation she gave to council at its last meeting. I think it's an excellent summation of where we are and how we got there. The called meeting itself will open with a thorough review of details and why many of us believe it is the right time to move forward. I have no idea if this is the perfect time. I've actually never met the perfect time, but I do believe that we're rather past time to consider this and to move forward. Please join us on Thursday, the 11th at 5:30. We will have snacks. Thank you.